What's up? We're in the second part. Please go check out the first part to gauge your bearings. I am presently talking about the dangers of recreational dating. In the first part, I expanded on them at length. The last thing that I spoke about was explaining to you what my first ever love did to me. And he was the second boyfriend I ever had, and I was only 16 going on 17 at that stage. And this dude decided to chart the course of the destiny of my life and make out of me a harlot, a homewrecker, make out of me the kind of woman that steals husbands or boyfriends. And so therefore a disreputable woman who has no regard for the hearts of other women, trying to decimate my reputation because he did not want me to marry well or be a well-regarded woman in society at all. And that's what he decided to do to me in sorcery, because he saw me at a funeral where we were cordial upon parting ways, and then decided that Karabo was always going to be mine, and I will always be the only thing that made any real sense to her. And so made a decision to literally change my future because of that. A man that met me when he was just 18 and I was just 16 has now decided to basically decimate the remaining decades of my life that would come and make out of me somebody that did not turn out all right. That's why, hey guys, this whole video, I am doing it really, the whole desire out of it that I am walking in is to stay women from recreational dating. Not just women, but men too. But like I said, I'm in no position to teach men. But this thing also afflicts men. When you are just dating jolaring with randos in these streets as a kid, you don't know what you are collecting for yourself. Da stingy. You don't know what kind of mud you are slathering on your face by dating somebody in your most innocent, impressionable years. You have no clue what you're collecting. This is Africa. It is teeming at the folds with sorcery. People are using witchcraft left and right for just about everything, anything and anything that they can use it for. And so due to their obsession with occult magic, you don't know who you're meeting. You don't know at what point they're going to be introduced into sorcery. They might not, when you are just teenagers, yet be into it. But somewhere along the way, somebody introduces them to it. Like, I always like to ask this question. All the people that have afflicted me with witchcraft, who taught you? Like, who introduced you to the occult? Who told you this stuff works? Who was the person that inducted you into it? But then again, Satan is very innovative as to how he spreads his message. He manages to somehow convince even the most unexpected people to ever go out like that for it. And then next thing umuntu that would never, that made jokes about witchcraft, dissing and teasing Boloi, becomes one. They become one. Ill-gotten gain will make any man and any greedy woman, any greedy man and any greedy woman decide to do that which does not even suit them. Consult a sangoma to basically plan a person's entire future. That was the first boyfriend, alright? After that, the dude who passed away didn't do anything to me. I told you guys that I had an ex-boyfriend that died, right? But the next guy that I would date after, literally, like guys, I am telling you my stories so that you can navigate your own lives into some kind of a lane in life where you will understand that it's literally a good 75 to 80, if not 90% of the randos that you meet that will be possessive of you. And upon being possessive, then make a decision. Do you understand what I am saying? That you are going to be theirs for life in the spirit form. That's what happened with me. It was not every boyfriend I was ever with that did this to me, but it was a hella chunky majority of them. It was a chunky majority. It was a chunky gangster majority. This next dude that I then dated when I was in, like, it was literally just immediately after that first dude, like late part of grade 11 matric, all of it. We were together for a year and a half. Ish, guys. I'm really gonna just try and run through these stories as quickly as I possibly can. Nae, boyfriend, we dated. I was fornicating with him. Year and a half of just dating, whatever, just whatevering. The guy then, as time progresses, this is Johannesburg, it can be very small and people can know each other, especially when they used to party with each other on the come up. Soweto and the south of Johannesburg, the parties that were pumping in Soweto, a lot of times kids from the south of Johannesburg would attend, go diplufu, blah blah, all that jazz. That is it Maibuye party or whatever. So a lot of the teenagers and young adults of the south of Joburg used to party a lot in Soweto on the come up, and vice versa. And then every so often they would insist on going to Sandton or whatever. Okay, So when they then meet at these places, it becomes one big fat chunky camaraderie of, oh, I know you. We used to party together when we grew up. So I started dating a dude from my ex-boyfriend, the one that I'm always talking about, the one that I started dating when I was 22. Yeah, that rando. Started dating him. He stayed in the south of Johannesburg. And this ex of mine was from Soweto. The one that I dated after the last one that was from the east of Johannesburg. He was from Soweto. And as when we were in the relationship, right? And throughout our relationship, not throughout, somewhere along the way, my ex-boyfriend would go out with some of his boys. And then they would cross paths with the crews of guys that they sometimes used to jive or dance with on the come up, all of them. And this ex of mine was part of those crews. I'm now in a long-term relationship with this dude on the side, right? This guy, I was with him at the latter part of my high school years. As soon as I started university, he couldn't deal, he couldn't handle. So we ended up breaking up, type setup thing. He was always just a ghetto dude that could not be with a woman that's in higher learning, anyway, whatever, etc. Yeah, type establishment thing. Cool beans and bananas. I date this dude briefly. We're not going to get into details of that relationship. Years down the line progress, I'm now with the other dude. All right? They then cross paths. It then gets rumored in the rumor mill that Karabo is dating. Not rumored in the rumor mill, sorry. He learns that this ex of mine that I was with when I was at the latter part of high school, he learns that dude, Karabo, he's dating Karabo. They've been in a relationship for some years now. Yeah, that's what's good. This is now, like, my ex and I at this stage are together like 2.5 going on 3 years. We're together like 2.5 going on 3 years. It's like a serious thing going on over there. They then bump into each other, know one another, hey, what's up, yeah, good, whatever. He learns that he is dating his ex-girlfriend. And my ex-boyfriend comes and tells me, Uti, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, I used to date, let's say his name was Tepang. I was like, I used to date Tepang. And my ex was like, how in the world did you date Tepang? He's so short. I was like, when I was a kid, I used to date short dudes. Like, I'm a tall woman. Like, that's what's good. So, like, I just always settled. Blah, blah. What a fish paste. My ex then was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, laughing it off on some, I can't believe that you ever dated Tepang. Cool. That's what's good. My ex, however, for a season, for something like a month, he was still busy partying in Soweto. And he constantly kept on seeing Tepang. And one time Tepang asked to see, my ex had my photo, us, basically the two of us as his, what do you call this? Screensaver, right? And then he was like, can I see? And then my ex shows him, right? And then he's like, hey, grand. That means you've got a good girl. You've got a great girlfriend type thing. And then my ex is like, thanks, type setup thing. Moving on. So I'm now, that's it, right? My ex then tells me this, that on some, your ex-boyfriend wanted to see the photo of you and I on my phone, and then said that I've got a good girl type establishment thing. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's mature of him. Moving on. That's it. So he's out there acting cordially with the man that is with his ex-girlfriend. He's not beefing. He's not saying, she was mine. Nothing of that nature. He's not acting a fool. He even tells him, you've got a good girl. Yeah. Okay. That was the trigger for him. That was the trigger for the dude Wako Soweto. That was the trigger for my ex-boyfriend from there. He could not take in his stride my relationship with the guy that I was with. The screensavers, the constant phone calls, hey baby unjani, blah blah, and him knowing that he's speaking to Karabo on the phone every time he would take the call and recognize that he's speaking to my ex. He got jealous. And that's when the seed of ugliness was spurred in him, like Cain, right? It's written in God's word, Cain, sin is crouching at your door and its desire is to have you, but you must master it. You must master it. He was supposed to master that. Like, he's jealous of the fact that his ex-girlfriend is with this dude that he's now presently hanging out with, drinking beer with, type establishment thing. And after, I don't know, literally my ex was busy hanging out Nalaba died people for a good month, for during a season of our relationship, a whole month, until he Pizanta Jaiva got thing. And this triggered this dude. And then he made a decision Karabo after looking at my photos through my ex's phone. Why are you doing that to yourself? Sin is crouching at your door and it desires to have you. Why are you busy looking at me and him at the mall, me and him eating pizza, me and him at my apartment, me and boy, let go. He allowed himself to go through my ex's phone, seeing photos of us, screensaver, blah blah blah, got all envious and unfortunately uncomfortable, and then decided Uti Ugarabo I met this dude when I was, like I said, latter part of high school, 18, 17 and a half. He was 4 years older than me, so making at 21. 21-year-old dude makes a decision that a 17-year-old girl is going to have no love. So now this is like a bullseye from two guys. First boyfriend, he is, yeah, like, at what point did, I think it was around the same time, man, because the funeral, the death of that other dude happened, it all happened when I was like 23, 4, 5, like, yeah, around there. So around the same time, I keep bumping into these exes, the one at the funeral. Now, this one, I didn't really bump into him. I didn't see him. My ex was the one, however, that was always frequenting the party spaces where he was at and then coming back to tell me the tales. Here it is that a girl is getting bullseyed by two ex-boyfriends while I am with a man. I'm with someone. For a couple of years, we're dating. And here it is that dude, first love, bullets. Second love, because I did love that dude. Bullets. Makes a decision to me, and guess what? I only saw that dream. You see, the Lord never let me see these things when I was still lost. Not when I was lost, because I would have been confused as to what I was seeing, and it would have just bombarded me too much. It would have been too devastating. I'm trying to help you understand that if you don't have Christ, yeah, guys, you are a sitting duck. Do you understand? Of randos that make a decision, they are gonna decide your future for you. This ex, how the dream happened. Go thing. I was there. I was clubbing, nightlife scene that I left long ago. It was giving not even Melville, but some party joint in Norwood that we once went to party at together with that particular ex-boyfriend of mine. It was giving old school party joints, okay, old school that we had perused. And I'm sitting at this restaurant / party joint, cornered, and it was all of it red. Like, now I know that I get when I read, I'm seeing sorcery, lots of witchcraft. I was cornered on these red leather couches in this red restaurant, sitting next to, do you understand? This dude, this ex-boyfriend of mine, from a vantage point. And again, in my dreams, I was resisting because I was born again by the time I got the dreams. I was born again. And he is sitting next to me, cornered me. My cousins are dancing and looking as young as they did when we were all 17. My friends, his friends, like basically his entourage and mine were at that party joint. And this dude had cornered me in this, like, you know what the seating arrangement looked like? So it's similar to that you would find at restaurants like Panarotis and Wimpy, where it is that the little couches and the chair are against the wall. And so a person can literally like corner you. And if at all you want to get out, somebody has to stand up, like shuffle out, and then you can get out because you are like the chairs and the whatnot are literally mounted to the wall. You know how the scene Nyako Wimpili Panarotis is, right? Yeah, it was like that. And I was on the side where it is that if at all I wanted to get out, somebody would have to stand up, shuffle out, and then I could go. He had cornered me, making sure that I could go nowhere while everybody else was partying. And he looked so scrawny, so skinny, so little, so tiny in comparison to me. And mind you, he was charcoal. That ex-boyfriend of mine, he was very dark in complexion, right? But in this dream, he was shrouded with a blackness that was otherworldly. It was not like his dark in complexion, like everything of his was charcoal, including his clothes. Like if you're wearing a white shirt as a dark man, your shirt is going to be clearly white while your skin is dark. Do you understand? That dude, where everything of him was shrouded in black and it looked burnt. He looked burnt. Yo, guys, yeah, I get this dream only once I'm born again, right? Only once I'm born again. He tells me in this dream, you are mine. Like he's looking at me, he's like, you're mine. And I'm looking at him on some, no, you're not. And like I said, he's scrawny, he's all finished off, and he is charcoal. He was a very handsome dude on the come up. He was shorter than me, fine. But like, man, you guys, he was really cute, right? Yo, in this dream, he just looked like something, something that was just finished off. And he's busy cornering me in this table setting that we're chilling, these chairs and table setting. And he's like, waka, you are mine. Waka, you are. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And guys, in this dream, I was a Christian. I understood myself as one that was waiting on God for a husband. I couldn't understand why I was in the party scene. Why am I still partying with my cousins and whatnot? Why am I still partying with his boys? Why am I still like, I was a whole Christian. And in my dream, I was wearing my Christian vestige. And yet, I was being cornered by this dude telling me, Owaka, Owami, you are mine. And I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And the dream ended with that debacle, with him and I basically just disagreeing on matters type setup thing. Yeah. Well, that ex, I got that dream once I was saved. I got born again at the age of 26. He passed away in a car accident. He died in a vehicle accident. He was also taken to hospital, but then perished there. Chilling in a wheelchair, waiting to be, what do you call this? Like attended to by medics. And then he just like slumped in his chair and died. That's how he died. But he had been in a vehicle accident where one other guy died. And then 2 people survived that car accident. It was sad. It was very, very sad. And remember, I told you that my ex-boyfriend was busy hanging out. Like a couple of months prior to that. This happened. Was it in 20? It was literally in the same. No, was it the same year that I got saved? No, it was not the same year that I got saved. It was the year prior, but it was also, I remember it was after the World Cup. It was after the World Cup. Yeah, it was after the World Cup, because remember the 2010 World Cup. The World Cup was in 2010. This guy, I remember, passed away at the exact age of 30. He was 4 years older than me. He was born in 1980. I was born in 1984. So he died in 2010, but after the World Cup had happened, because things had already simmered down at that stage. I got born again the next year. I got saved the following year. Do you understand what I'm saying? He passed away in a vehicle accident, and my ex and I both went to the funeral. We both went to the memorial service together, and we also went to the funeral because we both knew him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what's good. And when he died, my cousin's the one that called me telling me that this guy passed away. And I was all sad. And yeah, it was, yeah, I remember, cordial. We did not have an ugly, horrible break. I was not on bad terms with any of my boyfriends. Guys, I was never that girl, Mina, to have these ugly, bickering breakups. Like, no. Yeah, we were not on bad terms. So basically, I did not deserve anything that they slapped me with. I didn't give them bad words when we broke up. No. But then they made a decision that they're going to chart the course of my entire life. Just gratuitous violence, unwarranted. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not that even if it is warranted, not that if somebody even told you where to get off that they deserve that. They don't. But nonetheless, I was afflicted by people that I was frankly good peoples with. If I saw them at the mall, I would greet, maybe even hug, have a brief conversation and move on. Cordiality was generally the way that I was out here walking these streets. And these buggers decided that my life is going to change. As in, guys, you don't know what you're dealing with out here in these streets. Like right now, even as I'm speaking, the Lord has just brought forward to me a celebrity couple of back in the day, that he brought it to me now, but he's been bringing it to me all along, trying to explain to me just how bad an epidemic this is in these streets. This guy used to be a continuity presenter for Channel O, and so too did the chick also be a continuity presenter for Channel O. Back when we were on the come up, and they started dating, the two of them. The Lord has been telling me that the guy has held the woman hostage ever since then. He has held her hostage. I will not get into detail as to who the couple is, because I'm not a celebrity gossip channel. I don't care to expose other celebrities for their sorcery, but it's happening across the board. I told you about them in my first part, about the woman who was widowed, whose husband was killed by an ex who is a celebrity in the country. Now I'm telling you about a celebrity couple that we all looked up to. They broke up, but the dude made sure that the woman is here. And lo and behold, he would go on right ahead to continue to thrive in the entertainment industry, but the woman just disappeared. She literally withered off the scene, and she was so fabulous. She withered. So today we don't know what's going on with Miss, I'm not going to tell you who the lady is, because then you're going to know who the dude is. Mara Dai Baga is yet another example of how it is that these people look so good, and he would, like I said, his career continued to thrive in the entertainment industry, still to this day, since thing. He's still around. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what's good. And we all love him. We love him. He looks like a great guy. He's married to some woman now, and he just looks like an okay dude. But what they do is they go and they shatter the lives of women, and then they, in and of themselves, take wives, go on and be these responsible looking citizens, stellar citizens, raise some children, end up with some teenage kids that look really beautiful, you know, and they look like they look like they are responsible citizens of South Africa that have raised a nation in children and have got beautiful wives, only for you to look back and there's like a whole trail of cadavers that they've left behind from girlfriends that they dated in the past. They look good enough, but yo, guys. Anyway, whatever. The Channel O presenter is among you. The dude Obulaileng, the husband of that celebrity woman, is among you. In both the entertainment spheres and down below in Lay Janes and Lay Joes, practice like no man's business. People are twattering people's futures. They are devastating people's futures using this darkness. This boyfriend, this ex that passed away in the vehicle accident, I would not learn of his sorcery until I got born again. That's why in my dream, Nachele. That's why in my dream he was burnt. He was shrouded in darkness. He had already perished. The dream came to me in retrospect, in the sense that it happened before. Like his sorcery happened, of course, while he was still alive. But then the Lord showed me what he did to me, only once he had perished. And in my dreams, this dude, Udula Anzachele, like I had about 3D dreams about this dude. The first one was the one where he was telling me, "You're mine, you are mine." And he was all looking charcoaled. And in the next one, he was sitting next to me in a couch, regretful, apologizing to me, saying that where I am, Gingy, like you can't come with, but it's really, really sad there. And I'm sorry for what I did to you. So he basically was apologizing to me, sitting on a couch in a house that I didn't even recognize with me, apologizing to me for the witchcraft that he did. And then my aunt walks in, right? My aunt who is still alive. And when my aunt walked in, he started to cry because he was being told where he came from. He had to go back. And guys, as he was sitting on the couch, he wasn't even like sitting, more than he was like crunched up. Like, have you seen gargoyles on porches of houses? They are like squatting, but like he was like that. And Onasa Abara, he was chilling like a gargoyle, and he was completely charred. His body was super black. I could recognize him though, but like he was charred. Onachile, that guy is in hell. That was the Lord. Basically, every time I would see that dude in my dream, he was in his hellish state. He was in his eternal state. He already passed away. Shem. Nyamzuela. Every so often, I say, I'm sorry. Like, I say in my spirit, askis, because all I can say is, I'm sorry that you ended up there. I apologize that you didn't have all that time that everybody else was given. He was only 30 when he died. But you see, here it is that my ex-boyfriend has so many more years given than him. It's how many years now down the line? He's now today, 44? And still, like, it doesn't matter. Like that other dude, if he was given another 14 years, would he have repented? My ex has been given another 14 years, and he is on his way out as we speak. He did not repent. Here it is that I had a dream about some other dude who, like, it's like, what is the point of being given extra time when you don't use it wisely? What is the point of dying old and still a sinner? Like, I don't get it. Still unredeemed. Anyway, whatever. It's Kateba say, like, that's why I rewrote that song. Yeah, R. Kelly, if I could turn back the hands of time, to speak about how it is that even if you were to be able to turn back the hands of time, humanity, you would still be vile. You will still sin. You will still do abominable things. Even if God gave you 100 years to live, you will still never give your life to him if you ended up in hell. You will still do a strange thing. Because look at all these people now. They've been given a lot more time than that ex of mine and Cincinnati Bees. They are still busy. They're still busy. Anyway, that was the second dude, right? That I fell in love with the sorcery. All up in my grill. I would then, after breaking up with him, I was in a series is quite the harsh word, but let me just say, I just kept on getting in and out of like non-serious relationships where not much happened with the dudes, right? For the next like 2 years, after varsity, right? Like basically when I was at Wits, I was not with anyone serious the whole time. When I was at Wits University, I was not with anyone serious. It was only after losing everything, right? I had to drop out of school because my mom wasn't paying my fees. I then ended up working at a learnership at Liberty Life, and it was during the time when I was working in this learnership that I then met another guy. And this time around, it was a proper relationship. It was not just passing flings type establishment thing. So in that whole time of me being at Wits, I never collected rubbish dust that afflicted me with witchcraft. No one that I was with, even for 5 days during the time when I was at Wits, afflicted me with witchcraft. I told you, when it's a hit, when they are drive-by shooters, when it's insincere, or when it's just dudes that are crushing on you, they tend to not be as dangerous as the ones that linger. They tend to not be as dangerous because the ones who linger are the ones that got to have the experience with you. They're the ones that got to have the experience with you, and so they feel so possessive of you. They feel like if I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby. Or they say that I'm gonna have my wife. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna marry, but you won't. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna marry, but you're gonna get into an abusive relationship. You're gonna be the baby mama 3 times over with 2 different baby daddies, and none of them will propose marriage to you. Yeah, they make such decisions for people. That's why there's such a bad epidemic of marriagelessness among especially black women. When black men want to get married, they just choose somebody and they marry. But with us, Hashem, you will be turning 45 with no husband. We put on what's going on. These guys go on right ahead by your chata bona abafazi babo. They go and they marry their wives. However, behind them, like I said, there is a trail of cadavers that they leave behind. A trail of cadavers. Women that they have strewn on the streets, unable to come up for air, flapping like fishies outside of the ocean, about to breathe their last, while you are maintained single, 30, 35, 40, and you are so beautiful, you're so gorgeous, and you had a very stable, serious relationship somewhere in your 20s, and ever since then, everything has just been like, tanking. Recreational dating, guys, wait again, I don't do it. So basically, my ex-boyfriend, that wreaked havoc in my life that I keep talking about, a whole bunch, it was over for us before it even started. It was over for us before it even started, because already there was so much sabotage. There was already so much sabotage of our relationship. The guy who passed away, the one who was the paramedic that tended to the other ex of mine who passed away, that didn't do anything to me spiritually. However, unfortunately, he died outside of Christ, right? Type setup thing. My ex-boyfriend was essentially set up for failure, and that can likely account for the reason why he beat around the bush, dilly-dallied, played little games with me for 5 years and never proposed marriage. He probably was made that dizzy and that dumb to literally waste the time of what he now today calls the one who got away. Bamienze dom. They made him get spirals around his eyes hypnotically, spinning on the spot. 1 dead guy and 1 alive. 2 men at that stage had already ransacked my ex. It was over before it started. It was over before it started with my ex. 5 years. That was not the only sabotage. I would then, before dating this dude, the last one that I was with in a serious relationship, I then, like I said, I was in a learnership from around the age of like 2021, because my ex and I started dating when I was 22. So this other ex, I was with him when I was like 2021 type establishment thing. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, the closet homosexual. I've already told you guys that I've dated a closet homosexual in the past. So you would think you would think that because a man loves men, you would imagine that 1 second, closet homosexual, you would imagine that because a man is besotted with other men, that he would just leave a woman alone, or that he would not hold fast to anything. You know, where a woman is concerned, it's like if she dumps him, it's like, I don't like women anyway. Yeah, I dated a closet homosexual for 8 months. I get some but like we were very tight, more like bomba besties than boyfriend and girlfriend. Anyway, whatever. This closet homosexual, I dated him when I was 21. I told you guys that. And the relationship lasted 8 months. Oh, goodness gracious. But we were tight, very tight. We were close, but not romantically, more like dimpinch. Mara that were fornicating. Yeah, type setup thing ish, y'all. Yeah. That guy ish, man, long story. Now I'm not gonna get into these stories with extremity of lengthy explanation. He impregnated some other woman because he was trying to prove that he's straight. I don't know why he did that, but some other chick damn fell pregnant, and that's why our relationship ended. It might have lasted a year, maybe longer than that, if he did not impregnate that chick. And Mina, personally, I didn't love him. He was too effeminate for my liking. I suspected him. He was giving, vibes that I suspected, but he claimed he was straight. The dude was so gay that he struggled to get things ready, if you know what I mean. He couldn't even, he was not operational. I don't know how he made that other woman pregnant. I don't. Anyway, whatever. The closet homosexual guy, because he impregnates some other chick, and I'm like, and I'm out here suspecting you of being gay, and then you go and you make a baby because you think you're Somizi and she's Palisa. Go with your Somizi Palisa scenario. Done here. Alright, and at the exact same time, as this boyfriend of mine is actually impregnating some other female, I was already being pursued by my ex, the person that would be the last relationship that was solid and stable that I would be in. Yeah, I was already being pursued by him, and I was telling him no, because for I gut feelings. I had gut feelings for days when it came to my ex-boyfriend. I had 20 years worth of gut feelings, and that's why I was like, I can't. I told my cousin he's giving criminal. Something oozes criminal out of him type thing. So I passed him up for that, and not only that, I had a boyfriend, but that was not excuse sufficient, goodness, because he was in the closet. I was gonna leave that closet homosexual for a straight man that was going to be giving me a lot of testosterone. I was gonna run to the other dude any minute now. It's just that nobody suitable came, and at the time my ex did not appear suitable to me because, like I said, he was oozing criminality. Something about him, so I was never ever going to leave my closet homosexual for my ex, right? But my ex was pursuing me hard, knock and strong at the time. So when the closet homosexual wreaked all that havoc in my life with the impregnation of Palesa Esomizi, I was like, this is my cue. And because I struggled to not be in a relationship at the time, you know, one of those, like when you're in the world and you have idolatized, you have made an idol out of relationships, out of being with ama boyfriends, you will sometimes join it just cause somebody shelile, yeah. So because I could not stay single for the life of me, I considered the guy that I imagined was giving criminality. He was oozing crime vibes. He was oozing bad guy. He was oozing bandit. Like in the worst way. He was giving Velcro hands, grand larceny, pilfering, maybe. He was just giving theft, okay? But I decided to consider him, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the pilfering guy. I liked him. I did. It worked. Like, yeah. I gave him a chance. Told my cousin, fine, give him my number. Gave him a chance. Start dating. Then, 1 second. Yeah, okay, sorry, I was distracted because I neglected to do something while I was talking here, and I've just wasted all this time. But anyway, whatever, we're doing it now, so calm down, relax, kulega type setup thing. Anyway, whatever, yeah, so I started dating the pilfering guy, and I fell in love to my not really surprised, maybe to myself, I don't know. He was a gentleman, like a toy. I fell in love. Okay, that's what's good. Yeah, I fell in love, even though Mingim Sola in the beginning, kodwa ukusola kwam of him was rightly placed. It was rightly placed. He was giving money laundering. He was oozing racketeering, unsavory business practices. He was just giving criminality. He had a future in crime. That dude, like, it was clear. Anyway, whatever. So I start dating the pilfering guy, right? Pilfering is an understatement. Like I said, grand larceny. It's hard knock theft. All right. I start dating that dude after being with the closet homosexual for 6 months. Not 6, 8 months. After being with the closet homosexual for 8 months, I start dating the pilfering guy. And we leave it at that. This pilfer, like I said, the pilfering guy, it was over before it started. The grand larcenist, it was over before it started. Like, he was literally set up for failure from the very get-go by already 3 of my exes at that stage. Like, dubula bullet. And these exes would only come at him, however, only once we were together, right? So that's why he spun around on the spot and didn't propose marriage, and now today he wish he had done differently. I'm glad that he didn't, because, like I said, he was giving grand larceny. It never would have worked. Anyway, whatever. The guy that I was with, closet homosexual, he was poor. He was poor, ne? Never I was never the kind of woman to pass a guy up, because my gang and next, I was the type of chick to date a guy, too. I didn't insist on being a passenger and all that jazz. I didn't insist on a dude that had a car and whatnot. I was not that girl. And it saved me from a lot of rubbish, frankly. But anyway, whatever. It also made me date some poor guys. And this dude was poor. They used to live in a 4-room. Yeah, they didn't have a bathroom. When I was visiting him, sometimes I would have to bath in a skotlelki, and I didn't mind. I didn't care, because I imagined that, like, Papa, Sizo Pumalana, we're gonna get out of this. But I wasn't in love with him, so I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, whatever. I was ride or die to that random tsotsi, right? Because they all turned out to be little tsotsis, thieves. Yeah, I was ride or die to my closet homosexual, and the only reason I left him is because he cheated on me. And he impregnated another woman. So I would have stayed in a relationship where I was not happy, where I was not in love, where I was dating Somizi. If Somizi did not impregnate Palesa. When you stay in a relationship just cause. Anyway, whatever. So here it is that I'm in a relationship with this Okie. I got out of that. I then started dating the other dude. And it was initially quiet. This other dude he every so often would call me or send me text messages, and I was not interested. I was like, dude, it's over. But then one day, I'm at Sandton Mall, maybe like a year and a half into my relationship with my ex-boyfriend. Year and a half, 2 years, ne? I'm at Sandton Mall with my family. My mom is there and my little sister, me and my boyfriend. We are shopping. I don't know what we're doing, but he was there with us. Okay. Yeah. And he's just out here. Yeah. I'm with my boyfriend at the mall with my mom and my little sister. And then I bump into my ex-boyfriend, into the closet homosexual at the mall. I didn't even recognize him because the closet homosexual used to have dreadlocks when I dated him, and he had chopped them off, and I wanted him to get rid of them when we were together, and I was glad that he, finally did that. The reason why I wanted him to get rid of them was because, one, I've never liked dreads, and secondly, like I told you, he was gay. That dude was in the closet, and he was a flaming flamingo. So he had mannerisms, and they used to annoy me so much. Like, he would flicker his dreads out the way like a chick, almost like Ahmehara, and it was just, it used to eat me alive. He was like a maggot. I hated his girly mannerisms. He wasn't a man about his dreadlocks, for crying out loud. He was a girl. It's like Megana, irreverent mane. Dude, I couldn't deal. I hated that hair. I hated that hair with every bone in my body, and I wanted him to cut it. And he didn't. Throughout the relationship, he was also skinny. Very, very, very mar. Exceptionally skinny. Skinny malinky dinky, skinny malinky do. When we were together, and he had put on some weight. He had beefed up, he had eaten a little bit more. I don't know what was going on over there, but he gained weight. So I didn't recognize him. I didn't recognize him without the dreadlocks. And I also did not recognize him with a little bit more weight. He wasn't fat. He was just medium-sized now. He had bulked up. Not bulked. Bulked suggests he was gymming. He was exercising. He wasn't working out. He was just thicker because he was fleshier. I don't know, like age caught up. Angazi, just 2 years had progressed at that stage. Whatever. Yeah, so I did not recognize him. Except for the voice. Like, voice, yeah, okay. The way this dude was just such a girl. Like, even his voice hadn't properly broken. Karabo, Johnny. I didn't like that guy. I did not like him. I don't know why I was dating him. His voice was not manly. It was not broken enough, right? So when he spoke, that's when I was like, oh my goodness, it's him. They say his name was Jomo. I was like, oh my goodness, get Jomo. I did not recognize him. He had gained weight, cut off his dreads. I did not spot him. Of course, when he was smiling, then I saw that it was him because he had very beautiful teeth and a very beautiful smile. I guess the only thing I could recognize on there was his smile, right? Type setup thing. And I was like, oh, I see, you finally chopped off your dreadlocks, right? My ex is standing there in the corner at the mall, right? Remember, we're all at the mall, Kaufela, and my mom and my sister are like taking a walk around. My ex is just waiting for me to finish talking to this dude. He's giving me space, type establishment thing. And as he's looking, and then this guy is like, so how are you, Karabo? It's been a while. And then I hug him, wada. Okay, I know, sharp. Type setup thing. Next thing, he's like, so are you gonna give me a number or what? Hey, this dude used to speak like a girl. So are you gonna give me a number or what? And I'm like, no, dude, I'm here with my boyfriend. In fact, he's over there. And then he looks back at my boyfriend, ne? And then he looks around, he turns back around and looks at me and starts laughing on some, he looks younger than you. How twanele. Oh, I was just like, dude, you have no idea what you're dealing with here. He said that my ex looked young. My ex did have a baby face, right? He really did at the time. Plus, in the earlier stages of our relationship, he had also yet to bulk up. I have an effect on men. They get beefy after I get out of that situation. After me. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, he had a baby face. During the relationship with my ex-boyfriend, I had also gained weight because I was eating Diane like no man's business. The pill, the contraceptive pill. So I was fresher on the face and fresher in the body, and I was thicker than my ex. And my ex was taller than me, ever so slightly, but he did have a baby face. That is absolutely true. And this dude is like, this guy looks younger than you. He looks young. He looks younger than you. Yes, Sheba, this guy, like, as he's busy underestimating my boyfriend, right? He's busy underestimating my boyfriend for being a kid. He says that my ex looks young, type thing. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, you think you're better than my boyfriend. You think you're better. Dude, you are not straight, first and foremost. You cannot do things that men are supposed to very easily be able to do when they are in front of a woman in a particular posture. That guy slays you like 20 minutes, like shut up, like Tola. I just was looking at him on some, just because you succeeded to hit a bullseye with Palesa Esomizi does not mean that you hit bullseyes with me. You forever disappointed me, Oflopa boy, so don't be dissing my boyfriend because he slays you like in so many regards. I found him so arrogant. I found his demeanor very arrogant. He was a humble dude when we were dating, and I told you he was poor, type setup thing. Now, however, he was fattened, and he was very arrogant. He had an arrogant, like something, his personality had changed. And he was out here teasing my boyfriend for being a kid. And I remember thinking, that's not you. You are not that kind of guy. It turned out the guy got introduced to witchcraft. They always get crazy. They always become pompous. They always get arrogant. They always think they run the world. They get delusions of grandeur. The moment they dabble with witchcraft, the moment they do hard knock sorcery, these people change. And so that dude had already at that stage happened upon witchcraft. He had already been, Genye, what do you call this thing? He had already been aided along in that regard, right? He had already considered it my fine, whatever, bump into him at the mall. That was the trigger. There's always an event that triggers their sorcery. And me at the mall with my boyfriend and me telling him, like, I'm with my boyfriend, I'm not giving you my number at the mall, type setup thing. Plus I didn't like him, remember, closet homosexual and everything. It all triggered him, and then he made a decision that, again, Oami, you are going nowhere, you are mine. You are going nowhere, you're mine. I'm like, but dude, you're gay. You're gay. Like, what's going on there? Like, selfishness. It's just greed. It's like you're holding on to a woman even though you know deep down inside you like men. What's going on with you? Here it is that this dude out here in these streets mocks my boyfriend at the mall. He teases me. We move on. Cordially go fork, left, right. Go, yeah. Only when I get born again. Only once I got saved. However, the sorcery, that was when he was triggered to afflict me. So that's why my ex-boyfriend and I, it was over before it started. It was over. Somewhere along the way in our relationship, there was a bullet coming from my first love, the second love, and now this bugger. Why the closet homosexual. 3 of my exes were already determined that I am not going to go anywhere in marriage. So the guy, of course, twirled around on the spot like a ballerina and wasted 5 years of my life and not proposed marriage. And now that's what's good. Anyway, whatever. This dude, I get a dream about him, and his was very violent. It was extremely violent. I never liked him. In the dreams, I was always resisting because I was only getting these dreams once redeemed, okay? He had, like, incarcerated me in some kind of a bedroom, and he was trying to force me to lay with him, to partake in sexual relations with him. And I kept on saying, no, I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. And he was so angry at me and so aggressive with me when I said that I don't want him, that he kept on wielding a knife, threatening to kill me. He kept on wielding a knife, threatening to kill me. Basically, he was like, you are gonna be with me or else. You are gonna be with me or else. He was murderous. He was murderous in a way that my first 2 afflictors, perpetrators, weren't. He was on some be with me or die. And in my dream, I was genuinely scared. This knife that he kept on wielding, where I was like, whoa, are you going to stab me? What's going on? Yeah. He kept on, pulling it to me. And every time I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll be with you, he would then calm down the knife. And then when I'd be like, no, but I don't like you, he would then wield it again. And he was trying to forcibly have sex with me. In my dream, I ultimately, even though I was very scared of him, and another thing about him in the dream is that he was very thick. In waking life, he was not a muscular man, and he was not tall. He was my height exactly, not much taller. But in this dream, he was like strong man, and he was tall, like towering over me, and he was dark in complexion. In waking life, his complexion was slightly lighter even than mine, right? He was slightly lighter than me. I'm dark. He was slightly lighter than me. But in this dream, he was dark, and he was towering, and he was muscular, like ripped. Do you understand? And that's why I was scared of him, because he was He looked kind of monstrous, beastly, and he was wielding this knife. And ultimately, even though I was scared to run away from him because I realized that it was conditional, his saving of me and him being kinder and not killing me was conditional on me agreeing to be with him. I eventually decided to stand my ground in my dream, right? And I got off the bed where he was trying to have me by force, and I just literally I slipped out. I slipped out and I walked out. And guess what happened in my dream when I got off the bed and walked out? Because this guy was so aggressive, I thought he would follow me and try to stab me, right? Instead, he remained choked. It's like he was stuck in front of the bed. Like he wasn't on the bed. When I stood up, he stood up with me, and he was standing. And where it is that he was standing in front of the bed, I was able to move and get out of that room, but he couldn't move. He couldn't move. Like he was stranded in one position and he could not move. And when I looked back as I was walking out the room to see if he is following me, he had changed positions. Where it is that Akiriki Musila Ali right in front of the bed. He was right in front of the bed initially. He was now this time around right by the window. And it's like he was like strapped in it. He was by the window corner, like the corner of that room by the window. And he was just like standing in it. When I woke up from that dream, I was already Christian. I was like, hey, Bato, what in the world, God? Are you telling me that this dude is yet another one that has used sorcery on me? What I was seeing in there was a man that was so heavily tied to witchcraft, to entities, that it was his demon. It was demons. It was some kind of an entity that represented him, that was extremely coercive, and it was exorbitantly homicidal. Fast forward many, many, many years down the line with this guy in America, this dude in America. So basically like 2 years ago, okay? Yeah. I had a dream of the guy in America being similar to that dude with his sorcery. And in that dream, the two of them were interchanging into each other's skins. And he in the dream, he confessed to me, that guy, right? The closet homosexual, but he was in the body of the guy from America. He confessed to me that he has done so many human sacrifice rituals that he can't even count on his 10 fingers and toes how many people he has killed. And in the dream, there were so many people that were they were trapped in little cells, and they were being prepared for a human sacrifice ritual to be killed. They were yet to die, but they were going to be killed. And among the people in these cells trapped was a man in there that I understood to be my future husband, trapped in one of those cells, prepared for death, prepared to be killed, but he was yet to die. And this dude said to me in the dream, you're embarrassing me. My whole family is busy listening to you and all of the stuff that you're saying on the internet, and you're embarrassing me. You are embarrassing me. But anyway, I had to get you back. I had to bring you back in my life. I've killed so many people. I'm uncomfortable with it, but I had to get you back. In my dream, I then told him, no, go. And he ended up leaving, walking away. This happened just 2 years ago. Walking away, right? When I woke up, I was like, Lord, why did you intermingle the guy from America with that dude, the closet homosexual that I was dating? And the Lord was like, because their sorcery is similar. They entered into it out of desperation to get out of a tight knot of poverty, and they have been prepared to kill for wealth. And very quickly, very easily, they have squandered lives. They have killed people in multiple human sacrifice rituals. They're that filthy, they're that dark, and now they're actively trying to kill your husband. Kill your husband. He was trapped in a cell, basically like a sheep to the slaughter. That's guys, as in Buloyine. Anyway, that was me re-seeing that Jomo X 2 years ago, but the first dream I had about him was when I was brand spanking new saved, around 2011-12. That's when I got that dream. Yeah. I did not know what in the world I was seeing until, like I said, after losing everything, that's when I was able to understand rightly what was going on in my dreams. So that dude, triggered by that event at Santon City, then messed up with my prospects for romance, therefore also messing with the boyfriend that I was with at the time. It was over, that relationship, before it started. Hence, likely why my ex acted such a fool on me during the relationship. These are just my exes. There were many other people that came at our relationship that weren't exes. Some of them were his own friends. Some of them were his family members. Some of them were my family members. Some of them were my friends. Yeah, there are a lot of people that essentially try to basically break apart the relationship that I was in with my ex. But the Barry himself, the pilfering grand larcenist himself, was involved. Nah, so basically, you don't get to claim that you are a victim of witchcraft when you are also a perpetrator. I am essentially the only truly innocent person here from all of these like buffoons, sorcery. I'm the only true victim because I'm the only one that has not gone and used witchcraft in order to do whatever in these streets. That guy that I dated, squeaky, the homosexual, that was the relationship that I was in before the last dude that I was with in the world, when I was still in the world. Lost as lost can get. Yeah, that's what's good. And while that dude, you all know, I don't have to get into many stories about that guy. The relationship started out organically, where it is that he pursued me organically. There was no witchcraft, but somewhere along the way, he was vimbering me with witchcraft. Somewhere along the way, it was pega mina pela. Somewhere along the way, it was you're not gonna go out on me. Somewhere along, yes, like, you know, guys, you know, when I was with my ex, like, hey, I like to say that he messed with our intimacy because we were cool there, and then one day I started bleeding for like a whole month, 2 months. I was on my period. I went to go and see 2 gynecologists. One of them wanted to operate on me. I then went and got a second opinion from another one, and the other one told me that just write it out, it'll flee on its own. And I asked her, Kotwa, yin lena. And the second one that I went to was at the recommendation of my sister, because the one that was quickly, like, happy to very quickly operate, my sister was like, hey, get a second opinion. So I go and I get a second opinion from her gynae in Sandton. And that gynae is like, no, it looks like you might have a cyst over there. Yeah, it'll just get out on its own. And lo and behold, indeed, like after something like 2 months of non-stop bleeding, guys, as in, after 2 months of non-stop bleeding, it just went away on its own. It just went away on its own, and I couldn't understand why I was on my period for 2 months non-stop. My ex-boyfriend was like, I don't know, babe, I don't know. I don't know, babe, I don't know. You must go see another doctor. Ebatung, that man did something to me spiritually to make sure that I don't go out on him. Because not only did it mess with my period, whatever that was, I was just bleeding for 2 months non-stop. Always wearing a tampon, for crying out loud. 2 months. Oh, guys, witchcraft, ne? Yes, like it. But not only did it mess with that, afterwards, sex hurt. Every single time. Every single time. It hurt so much that I could never go. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to give extreme details because it's a Christian ministry. But if you are troubled by such talk, I apologize. All right? It hurt so badly that I could not go another round after one. It's like there could only be one session a night and that's it. Otherwise, it would just hurt. It would just hurt. It's like, what did you give me? Like, king tricho, not king vaginistus. I remember I used to research vaginistus, thinking that that's what I have. But I was like, how would this just come on me, Jeffella, overnight, suddenly? That situation never ever ended until the relationship ended. So bad was the situation, ne? When sex was not like that. In the beginning, everything went swimmingly, and now all of a sudden, I'm always first of all, I bleed for 2 months, and then after bleeding for 2 months, sex is always hurting. I'm like thinking, okay, what's going on? I don't know. What's good? And then I get born again, right? Because I got born again pretty much out of that relationship, or I got saved so as to overcome whatever in the world was going on in that space. Yeah, it was so bad that I asked God to restore me there. Like, when I got saved, I acknowledged it before God that I was a fornicator, I was a sinner, I am sorry. But I noticed, God, that somewhere along the way in my relationship with my ex, sex started to hurt to a point of it burning. Do you understand? If at all I were to go a second round again, I don't want to have those problems with my husband. I'm sorry that I fornicated. Please heal me down there. I still don't know if I'm healed because I've never had sex again since. It's been 13 years. Do you understand? But the situation was so bad that I asked God to heal me. And like I said, I will only ever find out, should the Lord tarry and me get a husband, once I have a husband, if that situation is fixed. That's the only time I'll know. But it used to hurt. Whereas in the beginning, first 2 years, everything was fine. And then it started to hurt. But not first before me bleeding for 2 months. And there was a dream that I got when I was with him. I got this dream. The Lord saw it fit to actually make sure that I get the dream when I'm with him. Because he was in my bed, in my apartment. And I said to him, I got a dream that I saw I was sitting on a wall And I could not get off that wall because I was encircled by snakes behind me and in front, a sea of snakes. And I saw you in the distance walking by, and I cried out to you for help, and you just walked on. I woke up and I told him about that dream. Hey, he ignored me. He pretended like it was nothing. Usually my ex was very, very interested in listening to everything that I would have to say. We used to, I would listen to his stories for days, and he would listen to me speak for days. It was easy for us to listen to each other. But this time around, he just rebuffed me. He rebuffed me very quickly. And because he rebuffed me, I was like, I let it go. That was the Lord showing me his sorcery, but I didn't understand it at the time because I was lost and in the world and couldn't understand my spiritual gifting. And it was also him showing me his sorcery when he was next to me, so that I would tell him, and then he would rebuff me. Of course, I brushed it off. I didn't think anything of it. I did not think anything of it. My ex-boyfriend, and he did something to me sexually so I don't cheat on him. I don't even know why he thought I would. I don't even know why under heaven he imagined I would. I suspect it's because of some trip we went to go KZN, where some numerologist, spiritist guy told him that a very powerful man is going to give him a run for his money. And so he made a decision that he's going to vimba me. Little did he know that that powerful man is Jesus. Here it is that the witch at Endor is out here prophesying accurately. Sometimes these witches accurately prophesy. I did get saved by a powerful man. His name was Christ. This man was expecting, my ex was expecting that powerful man would be some dude, tycoon, millionaire, billionaire, that would scoop his girlfriend and marry her. Instead, it was Christ who scooped me and married me. And here it is now that we are dealing with all of these years worth of sorcery. My ex was heavy, busy with me, heavy, throughout the relationship. And the irony of it all is that there was a time early, not throughout the relationship, sorry, but somewhere along the way in the relationship, earlier in the relationship, we teased. He came to me. I told you that I used to listen to his stories for days, and he would listen to me speak for days as well. He told me this one story of one of his boys, our mutual friend, whose girlfriend. That's why this thing goes two ways. Women do this to men too. That this guy had a girlfriend. Only busy guy, and this woman was busy with him. And one time he woke up in the middle of the night while they were sleeping, and he woke up only to see his girlfriend staring at him in the middle of the night. Busihu, lights switched off and everything. Like her eyes opened like that while he was sleeping, and he jumped out of bed and was screaming, and then was like, "Baby, why are you looking at me like that?" And this woman was just like, "No, I just wanted to watch you sleep." And this dude goes to his boys and is like, "Hey guys, I think my girlfriend is busy with me. I think I think she's doing things with me with witchcraft, because sometimes she does stuff that's just so weird. There are things that she does, dog, that I don't understand, and I wake up in the middle of the night and she's just staring at me." So my ex-boyfriend then comes and tells me the story. His boy was telling them as they were chatting as men, and then he comes when he's visiting me, and he's like, "Yo baby, let's say his name was Sizwe. Usizwe, Lerato. Let's say the girlfriend's name was Lerato. Usizwe uyakhala ukuthi Lerato amthakatha athi unokuvuka ebusuku I'm Tomo tonetse mahlo kambela mehlo." He's worried that she's messing with him. Sorry, let me say that in English. He's like, "Yo baby, Vose, no, can you Sizwe? That's the name." He's like, Sizwe's girlfriend Lerato is busy with him. He's concerned because sometimes he just he wakes up in the middle of the night with her doing some strange ritual, and he can tell that she's busy bewitching him. And the two of us were in stitches. We were laughing our stomachs out at the story of basically Sizwe just really going through it with his girlfriend that is like Delilah. Yes, and Delilah. That chick was a Delilah. She was Jezebel. She was evil. She was evil. Yeah, this dude was dating some evil chick. And he would cry to his boys. And my ex would come and tell me the stories, and the two of us would laugh. Yeah, in better days, we laughed at Buloi Balerato over Sizwe. We laughed that some chick is out here making a man's life a living nightmare because she has held him hostage. Sapo. crack. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, it was funny until he started doing it. Yeah, it was funny until he became Lerato. Yeah. So when my ex partook in sorcery, I remember just thinking, when I came to learn eventually, because all these things I would only find out once I was safe, but my ex was exposed by that one dream that I had when we were together. I'd be like, but like, what? I mean, remember that one time, God, that he came and told me about Sizwe and Lerato. And the two of us were laughing at the witchcraft and how it is that it's so bizarre. Why under heaven is this chick messing with her man like that? Yeah. Confused and angst, asking God, how does a man that can laugh at witchcraft like that, at somebody who is a victim of it, out here crying about his girl, how does he turn around and become the creep? How does he become Lerato? How did my man become that thing? The dude that wakes up in the middle of the night chanting and grunting over a woman. How did he graduate to that point? But that's the thing, witchcraft is this ill-gotten gain sport. I told you he was a grand larcenist, this pilfering thief. Do you understand? At some point he was eventually going to do it. It promises people things that they have not worked for. And so even though you find it unseemly and at some point in your life you can laugh at it, you end up doing it. My cousin too. My cousin and I, when we were growing up, we used to tease and speculated witchcraft in the community. And then she becomes one, a prolific one at that. Now she's the laughing stock. Except it's not funny. It's manipulation of people's lives. It is stealing the autonomy of people. It's grand larceny. I can't say that enough. It's like grand theft. Do you understand what I'm saying? People that do stuff like that. I gave you all those stories, and that's not the last one. When I was working at MTN, now I'm born again. I'm all redeemed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some dude slapped me ka korobela. I was a Christian. He hit me with korobela. He was working for marketing. I was with project management, blah, blah, all that jazz. Liked me from a distance, saw my blog, saw my poetry, and tried to pursue me organically. It didn't work because I suspected him. He was not giving enough Christian. There was a lot of him that was compromised. And so he decided that he's going to help me along. I accommodate him. I start dating him. And then during the time when I'm with him, I start getting these dreams. One dream, he was a big giant mpogane, like a fly, like a whole grown fly, like, no, not grown, like grown fly is still very tiny for a human being. He was a human-sized fly sitting next to me in my dream. God was telling me, vocalizing it loudly, get out. This is not right. Get out. How you gonna dream of your man being a big fat chunky fly sitting next to you? How you gonna dream of that? Lo and behold, I eventually break up with him, not because God told me to, but because he offended me. He insulted me. And shortly after us breaking up, then I start getting more horrible nightmares of this dude like other women in the office, fraternizing with other women in the office in front of me. A lot of them were very licentious, sexual. Him trying to get back together with me, calling me his wife. It's only a matter of time before you and I are back together again. And I discovered then at that stage, this guy's involved in witchcraft. And I was like, how did I date a dude involved in sorcery as a Christian? How did I not see it? They live among us, guys. They are everywhere. I dreamt about it. I saw it eventually. His behavior left a lot to be desired. There was a lot about him that was sketched off, even though he was a professing Christian, speaking a lot of Christianese. But I dated him anyway. I dated him precisely because he was a professing Christian. So that's how you get wed off to men who don't know Jesus. Women, that is how you find yourselves engaged to the guy Ohujisise. But like he's out here calling himself Mzalwane. That's what's happening a lot in my ministry, actually. I get a lot of guys that try to come through only because they know how to speak Christianese. If at all I were to humor them, they would be able to have a conversation with me about Jesus and likely be believable. But they help themselves along by Caesar. For things they want instead of going to God. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, they are everywhere. And the only reason I've been able to survive them is one person only, Jesus. The Lord has been the only cure. He's been the only solution. He's the only reason why I have eluded all of these boys, because they're not men. He is the only reason. Gu shubile ngaphandle lana, guys. It's dirty out there. It's dirty out there. It is a jungle ngaphandle. Eva, y'all need to recognize how hard knock of a jungle it is out there. Kiri powerful batoba, and they take what they want. They don't know Christ truly. The only way to gauge if at all a man is truly of God is to be so consecrated to the Lord that they can't help but manifest demons all up in your grill. The one wako empty, he could not help but be rude every so often towards me until I dumped him. The dude from America, he got so rude that I dumped him. They can't help but manifest demons. They won't last. They give you attitude very quickly. They treat you trashy because they're not of God. And their demons are what are rather responding to the fire of God, the purpose of God in you. They can't stand in the presence of it. So the solution is to so super suture yourself to God that even if you might be deceived in your own naivete and your impressionability, to accommodate a guy for 5 seconds, bottom line is he will manifest because you're so prayerful, because you're always fasting, because you're always, also the keeper. He will expose himself. They will perpetually be besotted with Christian girls and vice versa, with Christian men as women. But the way to protect oneself is to be super close to Jesus, such that they can't help but burn in your midst. The dude Ole was the demonic entity that had to let me go, that was frozen in a bedroom in a dream. Yeah, he was very full of threatening and intimidation, trying to stab me in my dream. But as soon as I made a decision to get out, even though I got out with trepidation and I was very scared, he couldn't follow me. They work with fear. They will chase you around a maze, Wankutla, with korobela, with death spells, with love kisses, like all different kinds of nasty, ugly, occult stuff. They will try to threaten you with unemployment, destitution, all that jazz. And even though you might be scared, bottom line is all you gotta do is just basically go out on a limb and test walking out and watch them be frozen in position, unable to follow you out as you walk out a door. And then once you're out, you will realize that God has even bound them to the wall. Go move. That's what happened in that dream. The dude was that the entity, the man in the dream was bound to a wall after I got out. He could not follow me. But during the time when I was underneath him, while he was literally attempting to rape me, and I tried to tipa over my body. I was so scared that I was scared to get out from underneath him. But once I made a decision to get out from underneath him, he couldn't follow me. He couldn't follow me. The difference was Jesus. I've been saved from being an adulteress by deadbeat exes that try to make me a bad girl, a wayward woman. I've been rescued from exes that tell themselves me. One of them got sent to hell, not because of me, but because it was his time to go. And literally came to me in a dream and apologized for what he did to me. Achille, I keep warning the rest. Get born again, lest you should find yourself in a bad bunch. My ex-boyfriend, after the second dude passed away, because the first one died and he didn't come to the funeral. The second one, because he knew him as well, he went to the funeral. He once asked me, why do your boyfriends always pass away? I was like, it's not all of them, dude. It's only 2. Then again, I had not been with that many guys anyway. Well, he was like, the boyfriends are dead. What if I'm next? I was like, oh, dude, relax, blom. Indeed, all these years down the line, he's still alive. But he will be next if he does not stop with all these darkness. I did a video yesterday. Give him a warn. Give him a warn. This is the South Africa that we are living in. This is the cesspool of arrogance that we are living in. Do you understand? And it is going to result in the rapture of the Lord Jesus Christ, of the body of the Lord Jesus Christ. It's going to result in the tribulation because the world is that evil. But in the run-up to the tribulation, as we fill the earth and occupy it, we gotta protect ourselves, yo. Stop recreationally dating. You don't know what monster you're meeting. You don't know who you're meeting. The guy in America, do you understand what I'm saying? A man out here stealthily worming his way into the life of a woman who is suffering a whole bunch, and I accommodate him and his 2 ex-wives, some kids of which he's not even taking care of. His bad rap sheet. That dude has such a bad rap sheet that I was not supposed to even listen to him once or twice. Mara Wang Tumpa was so much korobela and also came in during a time when I was going through so much that God is the one that zapped him out the way, got rid of him. And then he also turned out to be HIV positive because he was still fornicating. He took a test, an HIV test, because he was with me. And when it came out positive, waba super mean. He realized Uguti. Basically, he calls me one old pungilembampete, like he's got slippery arms, like butterfingers. If only I had used a condom. If only I had used a condom. What? That's all he's thinking. He's not thinking, if only I had not fornicated. He's thinking, if only I had used a condom. So he doesn't even have conviction of sexual sin. All that he wishes he had not done was dunk into a sick woman without protection. He does not wish that he had not done it. He is not truly contrite. That's all he wishes, that he had used a condom. Testing positive, now he can't be with me. And that is the thing that God protected me from. They're still fornicating. They're doing all different kinds of things, Mara. They will take their grabby, dirty hands. By pumule. Ne, dust themselves off. By pumule and defel. That's what's good. And then come and talk to you in Christianese. Speak about how it is that he's coming in the name of the gracious Lord Jesus Christ. How are you doing today, sister? Are you good? Yeah. Mara, before again, he was doing this. He was wiping his grubby hands. Because that's what they are. A man that was having sex 2 weeks ago after trying to take for a bride. A woman that's been chaste for 13 years. A woman that's been celibate for 5 years, 7 years. And a man that was fornicating just 2 hours ago. is out here DMing you on Facebook. How you doing in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ? A man that was just scrolling through pornography. How you doing in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ? My sister, I am inspired by your ministry. You will get like afflicted by a husband in a marriage. You will get afflicted by a boyfriend in a relationship because you guys insist on recreational dating. Anisha, stop dating. Stop dating. Wait on God for a husband. If you've got a boyfriend right now, unless he's prepared to come to Christ, and then the two of y'all separate during a season of consecration, and then maybe later on get back together again upon him proposing marriage. Unless he's prepared to do that, Pumagui, no matter how much in love you might be. Because these people, guys, almost every boyfriend that I have had, I've told you my tall tales right now. And they don't even talk because they're the real deal. Almost every last one has afflicted my life in some way. The only exception are the ones that, guys, it was like, it was pretty much all of them except for one. Everybody else didn't count except for two. Like, okay, the dude that passed away, that was a rapper. We weren't serious. The first boyfriend, I was with him very briefly, and then I fell in love with another guy. Very briefly. I was like, yeah, the ones that I was with for 5 seconds, or the ones that I merely made out with, and then it didn't go very far. They either did not bewitch me, or if they did, it was a hit and run. They did not insist upon me. The ones that have stalked me, lingered, and did such gargantuan, horrific sorcery that I can't breathe, have been the ones that I was with for any extended period of time. So all of these long-term relationships that you get into, 5 years, 7 years, 3 years, just like it, but you will be a prisoner of an ex-boyfriend, and you will not even know it. You will just look to the future and realize that some dude made a baby with you and paid damages but not lobol, made a decision not to chatta you, then went and took some other wife when you thought you were so gorgeous, so wonderful, so beautiful, so full of character that he would make out of you a serious wife, a serious woman. Instead, he just hid that and moved on, however, prepared to take care of your baby. Well, when you end up that girl, when you were supposed to be the one that was proposed marriage to at just 21, the way that you were just so fly, so amazing. And here it is that you're at 35 with 2 different kids by 2 different baby daddies, and the second baby daddy, you are with him, but you're scared he's not going to propose marriage. You're scared he's not going to propose marriage. You're scared you're not going to end up together. When ex-boyfriend, yes, guys, the same ex-boyfriend, some dude that she was with when she was in high school, ransacked her and ascertained that she's going to have mad and misfortune in romance. And it happened like clockwork with her. It happened like clockwork. Supposed to be quickly taken off the shelf by somebody. Absolutely amazing woman, gorgeous. And then next thing in Jeffela, somebody just puts a baby in your stomach and you just be a baby mama, but you don't end up with a baby daddy. Like stuff like that. Ex-boyfriend that meets you on a 17, 16, so young, and decides to when and then next thing, you are the unmarried baby mama of 3. That's how it looks. That's how it looks. Yesterday, that's why I can say that video was speaking to women and how it is that y'all don't operate in a silo. When you stand with these horrible men, in and of yourselves, you will be a victim. The very woman, the very sister of my ex that stood with him against me, a victim of this problem, this issue. She's also a victim. It's like, literally, it is that basic. The only way to protect yourselves is Jesus. Otherwise, you will be a flagrant statistic. So now, I am being lambasted by a whole bunch of women that don't want me to be okay. Because every time they listen to me, they get triggered. That's why I am gunning for Gen Zs. Because millennials get too triggered by me. They get too triggered. Because when they look back, am I a widow today because some deadbeat ex-boyfriend decided to kill my husband? When you marry a man in Christ, you're not going to end up like the celebrity in the country who lost her husband. When you are strong, consecrated to God, as a woman, and your man is also consecrated, death spells land on you like that, and then they just fall off. They come and they go. They come and they go. You might get a headache for like 24 hours. Thereafter, you go to work and you're cool. Get in your car, go to the garage, grab a grandpa, come back home. You're good. You're good. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what a truly consecrated saint of the living God is like. Some deadbeat ex-boyfriend, once you marry your husband, once you walk down the aisle to your Prince Charming, that is truly born again in the Lord Jesus Christ. That's what's good. They can't just bring some bazooka and shoot your husband dead because they hate your life from Facebook. They are looking at you from a distance from Facebook and they decide to over my dead body. Get triggered, snap, and decide they're going to make out of you a widow. Una 32. Make out of you a widow at just 35. make out of you a widow at just 40. Your husband is gone. Now you are just on the market. Again, bereaved. Having lost a man thinking that he passed away from coronavirus. Having thought that he passed away from tuberculosis, car accident. Kanti ubulelwe hi ex yakho. Because he could not stand watching you raise your beautiful kids together. Now your teenage sons don't got no dad no more. Because some deadbeat ex-boyfriend decided to kill their dad. Because he just could not stand watching you raise kids and be loved by a man. But a godly man and a godly woman, fire warriors, do you understand, in the kingdom of heaven, spirit-filled, anointed. We have got an impregnable fortress like the Iron Dome in Israel. Missile defense system. Some random deadbeat from like da fair will decide to go to Karabo. I dated you when I was 17 and you were 16. Over my dead body, you are going to be a widow. And then come at your husband. Your husband might get like a little bit of a fever, you know. Have to give him a little bit of med lemon. Alright, baby. And then give him a grandpa. Motohonyan. After 24 hours, he's back in the gym again. Baga be asking himself, Kanti, Lomundlona, why is he not going down? Because in and of himself, he is a warrior of the kingdom of heaven. You need to wait on God for godly husbands. So people are not going to knock out your kids, knock out your husbands, knock out your wives. Just kill Abantuba, your spouses, your significant others. In the run-up to your marriage, he's your fiancé. You're engaged. You're putting photos up on Facebook. You're putting photos up on Instagram. Like, whoa, guys, I'm excited. 5 days left. Next thing, your husband, your fiancé gets into an accident. Day before, can take your ex, like stuff like that. Can take your ex-boyfriend. You are just like traumatized. That day before your wedding, your man dies. Or 3 weeks after honeymoon, he dies. What? Because some rando was busy looking at you, come up binoculars, surveilling you, bewitching the living daylights out of you. But if your man is truly born again, look, that's why it's worth it to wait. Even if you're like me, at 39 still single, guys. If your man is truly born again, in and of himself, just like me, how many times Ngakara Mbokoto Chiki have I survived death spells? I did a video the other day, got all of their little King Kong stuff on a mountaintop trying to kill me. Apparently, allegedly, I'm as good as dead. They look at me like I'm a dead woman walking because they can cast spells. That's what's good. If I can survive all these death spells, and all that I get, like I said, is every so often a little bit of a headache that's concentrated in just this area, and I can't lift my head off the pillow, and one grandpa just knocks it out the way. Knocks it out the way. All that I get is a headache, but I don't actually die. All that I get are sniffles, blowing my nose a whole bunch, feeling a little bit of a disquiet day, feverish, a little unstable on my feet, staggering about, a little bit like a drunkard. But give it 48 hours and it'll pass. That's a real Christian right there. Your man will be just like you. Your husband will conquer, overwhelm death spells that come at him. Even though he might struggle to lift a weight in the gym on the day that it's operating this death spell, because they do have some effect. They do take effect. They give you a headache. They make you a little bit lightheaded. They make it hard for you to do a proper squat. The other day I was lamenting that they came at me during exercise. They will make you a little uncomfortable, but they will not finish you off. 1,000 may fall on your right hand and 10,000 on your side, but it will not come near you. You must wait on a God-ordained husband, because he cannot then just be knocked out by some deadbeat ex-boyfriend that wants him dead, because he can't stand watching you be loved by a man in the way that he messed up. He dropped the ball. He didn't propose, and he did not love God. You waited. Stop dating, guys. I've given you Idori from here to Timbuktu. Please, run with them. Stop jollering. This world is full of jealousy. Anger is overwhelming. Fury is a flood. But who can stand before jealousy? This world is just teeming at the folds. Come on. And people will kill even the infant in your stomach just out of jealousy that you could conceive. How do you shield that baby? How do you shield yourself, your family, your children? How do you ascertain that your husband does not get knocked out by a jealous ex? Just make sure he's born again, and then he got this. He got this in and of himself. You don't even have to stand in the gap, because he's standing in his own gap. Plus, he has an advocate in heaven who's standing in the gap for him. He's got angels charged concerning him that he might not strike his foot against a stone. And then you two, your two warriors in a household, all they will give you is a headache for 2 days. But not more than that. It's what I'm getting at. Wait. And as for all these deadbeat exes, Nambo, that are shamed right now, disgraced at present by this message that I'm speaking, now is your opportunity. Today is the day of salvation, the acceptable day of the Lord. If at all you can be such a perpetrator of all of South Africa, what makes you think Uguti nawe awuko a perpetrator? My ex-boyfriend, yeah, now low, we're 5 years. This is what I gotta say to you, dude. There are people who sabotaged our relationship, but you lost me. Why? Because in and of yourself, you were a saboteur. In and of yourself, you were a saboteur. So, seeing as people could literally pull the rug from underneath your feet, what makes you think that you can stand against a myriad, a plethora of things that you keep doing to people. Just get saved. This here is not a shaming message. It is a redeeming one for everybody that can escape the things that you did to people like me, but also an opportunity to snatch even you from the flames of hell, to make you stop this rubbish, to walk away from that wickedness. It is not me casting a stone on you that you might perish. It is me saying, now go and sin no more. Stop doing this, because look at how it squandered your future. You are ashamed now. You are disgraced for the abominations you keep on committing. To this day, you're still trying to make me envy you. I'm supposed to be with my own husband, not looking at what you're doing. You are competing no 13 years ago. I every so often feel sorry for her because of your indiscretions and your infidelity. I'm not competing with her. I pity her because of how scattered you are. You're not focusing on wako. I'm not competing. I'm sad that you are that unfaithful. But you see, you don't get stuff like that when you are consecrated to Satan, because you are into ill-gotten gain. Once the Lord cleanses you, you will recognize the folly of your ways and how it is that you're breaking the heart of a woman that, frankly, don't nobody have this coming. You are hurting your wife. You are hurting her and me. And you are pitting us against each other. We were rivals back then, but as soon as you and I parted ways, any woman that comes into your life is fair game. Ain't no need for me to be fighting with them anymore. She was the bane of my existence when we were dating. But after we broke up, you could be with whoever you wanted. You could do whatever you wanted. I am no longer upset at that woman. I feel sorry for her today. But you are still pitting me against Umfazi, that, or like proper when we were dating, you were pitting us against each other. You're still on that game. What are you, still 25? Are you still 26? Whoa, I'm not doing this. I do not covet your lives. They're dark. Get saved. Ex-boyfriends, if at all you happen upon my ministry, and you also keep on hurting your wives. Move on. And as for the closet homosexual, that's a sin. And all of the murders you've committed, you cannot afford to die in that state. Is that basic? Do you understand? Get saved and walk away. And stop afflicting, thinking that you can control Yonke South Africa with your darkness. Because all that's going to achieve is your condemnation eternal. I tried. If you don't get born again, you will have gone into the flames of hell with all this admonition. That will be on your own head. Okay, on your own head. But as for everybody else, stop recreationally dating. There are little monsters out there. They are lurking in corners, and you lay in bed with them, you date them for 5 years, and afterwards they don't let you go, making you a baby mama of 3, unmarried when you are 45. Just get born again and stop recreationally dating. That's all that I'm going to say. I'm signing out in Christ's name, Kran K. Peace.